Congresswoman Haley Stevens is a Michigan Democrat, and Congresswoman Katie Hill is a Democrat from California, and they join me now. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you, John.
What a day. What a day. How's it been?
Really exciting. We're thrilled to be here. It's a lot of work ahead of us, but we're ready to do it.
Yeah. So I'm going to go on, Congresswoman. Do you want to say?
Well, I was going to say it's been a jam-packed day, but the American public is counting on us. Our sleeves are rolled up, and we're ready to get the job done.
Okay. So I'm going to stick with you, Congresswoman Stevens. You're no longer a Democratic candidate. You're now you're no longer a Congresswoman-elect. You're now a United States Congresswoman. Both of you flipped districts. You're part of a big blue wave. Democrats gained 40 seats. What made today so special for you?
It was incredible having so many supporters and visitors in from Michigan's 11th district. We had people from Canton, Livonia, Commerce, every which way in a district that hasn't had a Democrat since before we landed on the moon. I am Michigan's first millennial representative, and I am so thrilled. I'm excited to be here, and I'm honored to be serving Michigan's 11th district.
Yeah, it's nice to see the youth and energy. I mean, I have to be honest. We put up pictures earlier, Congresswoman Hill, of the old guard, which was mostly men in dark suits, and then the new guard, diverse women, young people, LGBT people, and on and on. So I won't give your exact age because I know you're not supposed to ask a lady her age.
I don't
so you're in very early 30s, Congresswoman Stevens as well. You're both millennials. It's the most diverse House in U.S. history, more women than ever. So how do you feel? How does it feel to be a part of this is history making?
It really is. I mean, I think what you can feel more than anything else right now is that we are making history. We're on the verge of true change. We are the people's house. We're full of the people at this point. We've got, we've changed the age of Congress. The average age is reduced by 10 years because of all of us. We've gotten historic numbers of women elected, the most diverse Congress in history. And it's just the beginning. And it means that as long as we continue to show up and vote, we're going to continue to move in this direction.
Yeah. You have to admit, you must admit, that this is a really interesting time to be entering Congress with a shutdown and this fight over the wall and a standoff with a woman speaker and the President of the United States, one of his biggest nemesis.
Yeah.
Well, this is America in 2019, and make no mistake about it, John. The House today voted to reopen the government. We as Democrats care emphatically about border security. That is in our budget. We want to make the government work for the American people. We are here to restore the faith, the trust in government. That's what we were voted in on. We are the change makers. It's an energizing moment. We're bringing that energy in to do it differently.
And we're doing our part, right? We have put forth what we can from the House, and what it means is that it's in the Republicans' hands. It's in Donald Trump's hands, and he's got to do the right thing.
Let's talk about the Speaker, because my colleague Dana Bash interviewed Speaker Pelosi recently, and I just want to play this exchange about her leadership. Watch this.
None of us is indispensable, but some of us are just better at our jobs than others. And I have a following in the country. Apart from anybody who has run for president.
For most women, frankly, myself included, it is hard to say those words. I am uniquely qualified. I deserve this. I earn this. I can do this better than anyone else. But you can say that.
You know why I do it, Dana? I do it because I want women to see that you do not get pushed around, that you don't run away from the fight.
So, Congresswoman Stevens, there were 15 Democrats who opposed Pelosi's bid for Speaker. She's still the only female Speaker in U.S. history and the first person in more than 6 decades to return to the speakership. Why is she the best person to go toe-to-toe with President Trump?
The American public is sick and tired of the chaos and confusion coming out of our government. We have a new majority. We have elected new leaders, and it is time to start making this place work for people again. We are sick and tired of the dysfunction, and that's what this leadership vote meant today. That is what the 220 votes meant, that we are ready to get to work, and we are serious about it.
Congresswoman Hill, you were selected to be part of the House Majority leadership. Talk to me about that. And what are your legislative priorities and goals working with Speaker Pelosi?
I think it's really exciting that not only myself, but Joe Neguse, my colleague, were elected to be part of leadership. And it's a huge deal to have 2 freshmen be on the leadership team. It means that we literally have a seat at the table and that leadership is listening to us. They're not only just letting us be there and be in a corner of the room, but they're actively seeking our input and wanting to make sure that our freshman class is buying into what we're doing and really understands the process and has the ability to put influence into the decisions that are being made. So, what are our priorities? Our priorities, first, right now, has to be reopening the government and doing what we're here to do, which is to serve the people. But after that, we also have to be proactive. We just can't continue to react to Donald Trump. We have to set our own agenda. We've been very clear, and this is what we ran on, which is that we're going to, fight for the middle class. We're going to work on making a government that truly works for people, that is accountable to regular voters, not to big corporations and special interests, and that is, going to reduce the cost of healthcare and prescription drugs. And so each of those pieces is going to have legislation that's introduced very quickly so that we can show the American people who voted for us that this is what we're fighting for. And ultimately, we lay the groundwork here, we pass what we can, and it's up to the Senate and it's up to the president to sign those things. And if they don't, then it's up to the American people to make sure that we elect the right people in 2020 to continue to carry forward that mission.
Congresswoman Stevens, I'm going to ask you, we in the media, we like to ask you the same questions different ways, so I'm going to ask you a similar question, but differently. I bet you didn't think that Democrats would be taking over in the middle of a shutdown. So my question, the new part of the question is, what's the compromise? What amount of money are you willing to give the president for border security?
Well, we're absolutely not going to build the wall. And that's not negotiable. That is not something that we're ever going to cave on. That is not something that the American people want. What we need to do is we need to stop at the American taxpayer expense the dysfunction in our government. A shutdown is egregious. It should never happen. I remember the first shutdown in 2013. These are real people's lives that are being put on hold. These are civil servants who work for us, who work on behalf of our country, and frankly, keep us safe. And so in order to strike a deal, we sent a package through. We're obviously negotiating in the Oval Office. And Katie's right. It is also time to address the issues like prescription drugs and infrastructure and public education. These are issues that I heard in my district that voted for Donald Trump, that voted for Mitt Romney, but voted for Haley Stevens because I campaigned on an economic message focused on manufacturing. Now, as a member of Congress, I am here to deliver on that message.
Congresswoman Haley Stevens, Congresswoman Katie Hill, thank you both so much. I appreciate your energy and your smarts, and please come back anytime. Thank you. Good luck.
Thanks so much for having us.
Absolutely. Speaker Pelosi isn't ruling out impeachment proceedings against President Trump with Democrats in power in the House.